had a sit down with Gary Vee. Our content is too argumentative, you know, so there wasn't like a blueprint. Started out in 2017, so there was not many people doing kind of street interviews. I do place everything down to timing, man. 2 years later, we got our first bit of money from Snapchat, 150K. That really kind of took us to different heights.
What does the mic stand for?
I hope we always share stories of people who've just been through some sort of just life journey. At the end of that, there's hope.
So the microphone with the logo was with the biggest change?
Yeah, massively. That's when things really flew across social.
How come you chose faceless content?
But I wanted to build something that lives beyond me. Now we can do content in different parts of the world without me being there. You don't have to go too crazy and think of something unique, bring something, try to do it better, have your spin on it and leave your mark on it, you know?
What was it like interviewing Ed Sheeran?
The celebrity stuff is always kind of surreal. If I was to go back to my younger self, I'd have just went more crazy and just took way more risks.
Ahmed, how are you, mate?
Good.
Good.
Should have just done a school run, so
Nice.
a little bit tired.
How does someone go from a self-taught videographer in London to Forbes 30 under 30 with a YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok channel, over 6 million followers, and it's completely faceless?
Loaded question, isn't it? Obviously the cliche hard work, discipline, but also to people also sometimes right time, right place. Just you know, right time, right place. For example, again, we were in a fortunate position where we pretty much started out in 2017, you know, so there was not many people doing kind of street interviews in the streets of London. So over those from 2017 to 2019, we're able to kind of just have loads of different just skill sets that I guess maybe others didn't have or have just kind of started out. So I do place everything down to timing, man. It was just at the right time, early to the game, right time, right place. And we're able to kind of lead that wave when it came to street interviews. So
what sparked the idea to do it?
So funny enough, I wanted to do it in 2011.
11?
I know.
Jeez.
And I already wish I did that. Because I'll probably be in a penthouse suite somewhere like that. But yeah, so 2011 is when I actually kind of had the kind of concept that I wanted to kind of go out, hit the streets of London and speak to just young people. And the reason why 2011 in London specifically was an interesting time. There was we had riots going on. For my age demographic, knife crime was at an all-time high. University fees just increased from £3,000 to £9,000. So there's a lot of stuff within youth culture. There was a lot of issues kind of bubbling up, you know? So, and I felt it amongst my peers, etc. So I wanted to kind of hit the streets and just kind of just speak to people, but I didn't.
Why?
I think the fear of stuff. I was young. I was in year 11. So what age is that?
16.
16, yeah, 16, 15. So I think the fear of just starting something for sure was
scary to go up to people.
Of course, man.
Randomers.
At that age specifically, you know. So just kind of left it off for a few years, or for a while actually. So but yeah, I wish I did have the courage to just go out and just try.
What was it like, your first video? Did you just walk up to a stranger?
The scariest thing ever. Like even I say to people now, like I've interviewed thousands of people. I've always said to people, I'd always remember the first person I interviewed ever, just because it was a profound moment. Like I remember when I first stepped out, picked up a camera, my sister's camera in the summer, and it took me 4 hours to speak to one person. I couldn't do it.
You just sat in the high street.
No, honestly, like just, you know, you're about to walk up to someone, then you just touch a bottle it again, and I just couldn't build up the courage to randomly approach a random person. I mean, in London, that's weird for a lot of people, you know? So yeah, I couldn't do it. But then after once I kind of just had that one, and I always say to people in life, sometimes it just takes that one yes to change everything. And for me, that was that guy, that one yes. To kind of say, yeah, you feel free to, you know, ask me a question.
So the first person you actually asked agreed to do the video?
Literally.
What did you ask him?
The question I asked is it's actually on the Society YouTube page as well. Let me try to find it. It was a good question as well. But yeah, I'll try. I'll find.
Can't remember your first question. The one that changed your life.
Yeah, no, but honestly, it wasn't more or less the question. It was that one yes. That's all I kind of needed.
Yeah.
Forget the question, even forget the answer. What he said, I couldn't be honest. I can't remember what he said. But it was more or less that one yes, or that one person, you know, giving me that courage to I guess arguably believe in me, you know. So
was he the first person you asked as well?
First person.
So do you reckon?
No. Of course not first person. No.
Oh, so did people say no first?
Exactly, yeah. But but it took me courage, just the time to really get to that place. But yeah, so yeah, that one yes just kind of really put me on a path, and obviously built the courage again and again and again. Then it kind of grew into something on Facebook. Before it wasn't even called Dose Society, it was under my name.
Oh, yeah.
On Facebook. Then met my co-founder during college. And after university, I said to him, yo, this is what I've been working on for a year and a bit, and let's try to do something together. Here's the plan. Here's what I've done so far. And yeah, we just got to work.
Where was it at that point?
I think a few thousand followers across Facebook.
Yeah.
Maybe a few hundred subscribers on YouTube. So still at the early stages, you know? So like, I guess the foundations were kind of there.
What was the plan? What was the grand plan you pitched to your co-founder?
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's so funny. I've got a picture here. We met in Nando's, yeah, in Wood Green.
Of course.
So British.
All business meetings in London.
So if Nando's want to sponsor this, sponsor. But it's funny because I remember I took that picture here, yeah, 2017. I took a picture of just what the kind of infrastructure or like topics or formats that we can kind of go with, you know. So yes, this is what I kind of writ up with, showed him. Here's what we want to do. Here's the plan.
This is podcast on here.
I know.
That was early.
You know what I mean?
Early.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So just kind of showed him this. Then yeah, we got to work. Then fortunately, 2 years later, we got our first bit of money from Snapchat. So and that's what really kind of sparked everything and really kind of took us to different heights.
How did that come about?
So yeah, we got a friend of mine a year before, so it was part of like a Facebook incubator for 6 weeks in the summer. Again, that really helped us to really understand just the platform a bit more. So yeah, that helped. But then I met someone in that incubator who went on to apply for investment from Snapchat. So Snapchat had an incubator called Yellow, where every year they were kind of investing into 10 different companies, from media and entertainment to tech to different stuff. So yeah, 2019, we applied. Then we got accepted in the first stage. You send a video of yourself and your plans and what you've done so far. And it's so funny that we had probably like 4,000 followers then. Didn't make a pound, nothing, you know. And we went over to LA and we had to pitch just what our plans are, you know.
You just booked the flight to LA just to pitch.
Bro, we even have monies to do it, you know. So a friend of mine helped, called Stephen, gave us the money and the hotel. He came with as well. So yeah, forever grateful for him as well in terms of like, yeah, just gave us the money to kind of go there and pitch.
It takes balls to do that. If the channel's made no money, you're spending your own money, not even your own money, your mate's money to get there.
Exactly. So, and it's so fun. I always remember that moment where we step into like a room like this. Then there were 10 executives from Snapchat. No hi, no introductions, straight buzzer, 10 minutes. What's your dream? Like, what's your plans? Why are you? Then and it's so funny. When you walk out, similar to an exam. You know, you prepare for something like when you step out of that room, everything goes out.
Yeah. So
it was pretty that kind of moment. Then yeah, literally the day after they gave us a call saying, yeah, we believe in you guys. So yeah.
How much did they give you?
150K.
Really?
Yeah. And it's so funny. Now, it's nothing. We've been doing this for a while, but like 150K it's not a lot at all. But back then it was everything for us. Everything, you know, it felt like 10 million.
Yeah.
10 million, it was a $10 million check.
That's where everything changed.
Yeah, everything. And the reason why I say 150 is nothing, especially in the US, because we was in LA for months, you know. So we had to use the money for rent and blah, blah, blah. In America, it's just a different level, just cost of living. I had to stay obviously like quite central to where the Snap offices were. So like, yeah, the 150 kind of went quite quick to be so,
how did you spend it to grow the channel?
Even it was so funny. I remember when we first got it, like and he paid every month, so 50. And at the start, had an idea what we wanted to do, but we didn't really know. So what I always say to a lot of people that kind of incubator kind of gave us is just time to figure things out without being stressed, if that makes sense, you know? We had something to kind of fall back on. So we took a bit of time just in terms of what we want to kind of do with this money. So the first thing we did obviously is just pay ourselves a super small salary just to kind of pay the bills. And from there we just went to work and just content. We went out the streets and just filmed literally every day, every night, every morning, just to kind of really build up that backlog of catalog, you know.
So it's almost like you use the money just to allow you guys to work
just
harder.
time, literally
Just time.
it gave us time, you know, because again we weren't obviously remember media business is a little bit different, especially back then. Obviously there wasn't TikTok, there wasn't many platforms that wasn't out there. It was just pretty much Facebook and YouTube, even Instagram. You couldn't post any videos. So yeah, we just kind of just obviously built equipment, you know, bought the stuff to kind of really just get out there and just start film, but it just kind of gave us time to just really just go onto the field and just create content, you know. So yeah, but again in the US we had to use lawyers to just set things up, rent. So that's a lot of money kind of went into that stuff that we had to do throughout that program, you know. But yeah, we took our time for that money.
And then fast forward now, how much of the business does Snapchat own?
6%.
If they got a decent return on their investment?
I would say so. I'll say so. But no, Snap, yeah, honestly, it's a great company, a great team that were there, not there anymore. So still, yeah, the program's not there at the moment. But yeah, we had an amazing time, great people. So yeah, it was great.
Have you raised any investment since?
No, nothing, thankfully. So yeah, from there we went to kind of take that to a place where we, again, as you said, we have over 6 million followers across our socials. Team of 20 now.
Yeah.
In different parts of the world, for majority in the UK, some parts here in the Middle East. And yeah, my co-founder's currently in LA. So yeah, trying to do more stuff in the West. So yeah, slowly.
How do you find content differs in LA to the UK to the UAE?
I think America's America in a sense that like Americans are they want to speak, they want to tell their story, they're proud to tell their story. So like you get a lot of great content in the US just because I think, yeah, it's like I said, America's America. It's just, you know, they're made for the cameras. Whereas the UK, I think it took a bit of time for people to kind of just believe and kind of feed into us or tell their stories. But to the point where obviously now that those society mic is quite recognizable on the streets of London, 9 times out of 10 people will kind of, you know what we stand for, what the mic stands for. So people would, you know, like for them, it's like an honor for them to kind of feature on our channel and tell their truth or tell their story, you know. But it took a bit of time to get there, I think, in London. Whereas like in America, it's like, yeah, I'd love to tell my story.
What does the mic stand for?
Hope, I'd say. Because again, we always share stories of people who've just been through some sort of just life journey and whatnot. But at the end of that, there's hope that someone like me has gone through something similar, and there's, you know, they're still going strong. So I think that mic, I think it stands for just hope, inspiration, people, community, life.
Was that the message from day one? Day one
was just how we're able to kind of share stories of ordinary people like ourselves from ordinary backgrounds, and just share stories that hopefully that we can relate to, hopefully, and if you don't relate to, you might emphasize or sympathize with someone's story, you know. So that was the main kind of message of just what we're doing at Dose Society to where obviously now thankfully we work with many different brands in different parts of the world now, and for them we try to give them that insight as well, make them feel more human, make them feel more relatable, you know. So that's kind of like our standpoint to this day. So yeah.
How come you chose faceless content?
So when I first started, I think the first 2 episodes, and this is again pretty much before Dose, but when it was kind of building up to obviously where it is now, I started a bit of presenting, you know, but then I quickly realized that me becoming a face of something early on, the factor of whether people like me or they don't for whatever reason is going to stick with it. If that makes sense. Whereas like now, if you look at Dose to Society, like you like what we've built, the people of many different people, many different faces, many different stories. So it doesn't factor in myself, if that makes sense. Second thing as well, I wanted to build something that lives beyond me, if that makes sense, to the sense that now we can do content in different parts of the world without me being there. So that was a big factor when they kind of trying to create like a faceless media company, basically. So quickly realized that early on, like if I was to be the face of this and present continuously, I'd have to be there for every other interview, and I don't. It definitely wouldn't have grown to where it is now.
The doors it's opened.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. We'll be able to do the US and LA and have interviews in New York, then London, then UAE, all simultaneously run at the same time, you know.
Just breaking away from the episode quickly, so I have a question for you, Kane.
Okay.
What is your favourite thing in the world?
I can't say that on air.
Second favorite thing in the world.
Also can't say that on air.
Third?
Doing this podcast.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm really, really glad. But what is your least favorite thing about doing this podcast?
Production, editing.
Well, look, if you look at any of the top podcasters in the world, your Joe Rogans, your Stephen Bartlett, your Chris Williamsons, any of these guys, they all have videographers, they have studios, they have people doing their copy, they probably have people polishing their shoes in the background, right? There is a tool, Riverside.fm, which can do all of those things except polishing the shoes at an extremely high standard without the cost. It is the best video quality for any form of virtual recording. It also has AI tools to help you with things like show notes, titles, and even clipping up your episode into social media clips.
What's unbelievable is when you actually do the interview, whilst you're in the interview, it's already running. So as soon as you're finished, the social media clips are ready. You've got a transcript ready. You've got your titles done. And now it's a hosting site. So you can upload to Apple and Spotify directly from Riverside. So you only actually need one subscription to have a podcast.
That's a seriously good software, if you ask me. There is a link in the description. You'll get yourself 15% off, or you can just try it for free. And I'm even going to put a funky QR code on the screen.
You're going to.
Do you know why? Because I'm saving time on all the other stuff because I've got Riverside.fm.
Well, back to the episode.
So yeah. So
You look at Mr. Beast as an example, like he's the face of Mr. Beast. So you hear about how he's flying everywhere all the time.
Of course, and there's
to be
obviously
part of this
benefits,
video, this
and
video,
there's
this video.
benefits, I guess, of being the face of your of content, right? I understand the value of it, but just like for me, I just didn't really. I'll be honest, I didn't really care too much of me being famous or me being the face of something, you know. So
It allows you to do it worldwide.
100%, exactly. That was the main thing. Maybe now again we might be able to put our faces a bit more and stuff, and just kind of showcase the journey or a bit more BTS potentially. Something that we might be able to do now because obviously we built something up. But in the meantime, our main ethos is just showcasing just real people, real humans, real stories. So yeah.
Well, on the commercial side of it, that's what our podcast is really about. I suppose it allows you to sell it if you wanted to. Is that something you and your co-founder have ever spoken about?
It's funny because even like when we first got that piece of investment on Snapchat, like again, the first thing was like, what's the plan? And for us, it's like, we were just having fun with it, you know? We didn't really think too much about build to sell. That was never the plan at all. You know, even building to raise, that was never part of the plan, you know? So our main kind of ethos was just having fun with something. Then obviously, as you obviously grow and mature, obviously within just the world of business, you have to understand the value of raising a bit more money, the idea of what selling could look like. Because again, we have peers around us who've done that, you know, so we're able to kind of lean on it, the people who've been through a similar journey to us, you know. So yeah, and even now we're just still kind of enjoying the process, enjoying the journey, trying to globalize what we're doing, you know, bringing it here into the Middle East. Obviously he's living in the US at the moment, so trying to do more stuff across the US. So really just trying to globalize what we do, you know, and kind of take it further to where it currently is. So yeah.
Tell us about Dose of Emirates, because you conquered the US, you conquered the UK, and you've gone, cool, how do we do this in the UAE?
Yeah.
And your YouTube channel now, videos are getting 500,000, 1 million views, and it's been going about a year. Like the growth is crazy in this region.
What I love about this region, I think the appetite's here. You know, there's a lot of appetite for content, especially English speaking content within the UAE. So again, as the people sometimes forget, again, there's this country is made up of 90% of people who are just living out, expats, pretty much, you know. So I feel like we're able to kind of look at what's happening in the West in terms of the content and pretty much bring it to this part of the world.
That's essentially what you've done, isn't it?
Yeah,
you
literally.
replicated what works in the UK and US and gone, let's do it.
And I realized like a lot of businesses, you don't have to, it's not nothing's really new. Just put your spin on it, of course, but you don't have to go too crazy and think of something unique, or do you know what I mean? Or be the first company that's doing X, Y, Z. Like just bring something, try to do it better, have your spin on it, and leave your mark on it, you know? So that's what we were able to kind of do for the first year while building those Emirates. And yeah, so far so good. Like it's again, like a lot of people love it. Again, even for the influencers that we work with on the channel as well. Again, it's their first time kind of creating content in English. Do you know what I mean? So, and I always say to people, like, there's not many or hardly any global influencers / celebrities from this region that transcends like to the West. And so one of the reasons why is obviously is language, because most of their content in Arabic. But I said to like a few of them, I was like, English, like they're funny. The you know, but they've been doing this for a while, so they understand the industry. Like they're not new influencers, right? So I knew like they would kill it just doing English, if that makes sense. Just be you, be yourself. You really speak great English and people would relate to you regardless, you know?
Yeah.
Arab or not. So yeah.
How did you get the idea of Dose of Emirates off the ground? Because I guess when you're pitching this as a new idea in this region, like how did you get it going? It's not cheap to do these shoots.
Yeah, no, it's again, it was a simpler process because again we had something, we had a proof of concept.
Yeah.
And that was Dose Society was already at 1 million plus like followers and etc. So we had the kind of infrastructure to kind of come and do something. Maybe it would have been different if we didn't have Dose Society potentially. Because there was nothing to look at and replicate. But when we had that infrastructure already, it was just kind of like, yeah, the green light was already there. So it was just kind of taking us being here to kind of really get the ball moving, you know? So yeah, the infrastructure for us was already kind of built. So we had to just utilize what we've done and just literally bring it here, you know? So yeah.
How much does it cost you to launch it?
A little bit more because obviously we had the team. We kind of straight away off the bat hired like 5 people, you know. So and that was just kind of building a team of people who live here. You know what I mean? Because again, it's always important to understand the culture, where you're coming into. Like, I think it's very, especially when it comes to content for this region, like, you can't come here and just create something and not involve people who've been here or who understand this culture, this religion, this region as a whole better than us, you know. So that was the first kind of cost. Is just kind of bringing a team around it. So, and that was really the main cost, only at the time anyway, because just kind of getting the foundations in place, concepts, ideations. Then obviously once we kind of start to kind of stuff with studio content, etc. Again, good prices again compared to the UK. Like again, there's a lot of great talent within this region at way cheaper rates compared to the UK. So it just made so much sense for us, you know. So yeah.
How else does it differ commercially out here? For you say the talent's cheaper, studios are cheaper.
Yeah.
When it comes to brand deals, sponsorships, how does the UK to the US to the UAE differ?
Yeah, no, you'll be surprised. Like there's a lot of money here. A lot of there's a lot of kind of like purchasing power within just consumers in general. Again, people want to spend here in Dubai, if that makes sense. So which obviously makes it interesting for advertisers to do way more because people in Dubai spend, you know, or in your whole just UAE as a whole, and even Saudi, for example. But so people tend to spend here in this region massively. So yeah, people I think quite surprised when they hear just in terms of the numbers, in terms of what I guess brands are willing to kind of pay to sponsor, whether it's episodes from us or just influencer stuff as well. So yeah, I do kind of see a lot of kind of more I think consistent flow of just kind of brands for influencers compared to the UK at the moment. So yeah.
What they want from you, does that differ quite a lot? You're saying a big part of creating content out here is you can't ignore the culture. Like you have to incorporate the culture 100%. Into it, which you've done with your
exactly. Yeah, well, because where we have a great team who understand that, so that's kind of easy for us now.
Yeah.
Because obviously we build that infrastructure to hopefully understand that what the region wants, what the people want now, you know. And it's good. I think where a lot of when brands kind of approach us, a lot of people understand or know that we also have Dose Society. So I think the trust element is there as well. It's like, okay, cool. These don't just have Dose Emirates. They have a massive page. And when they have, do you know what I mean? Experience when it comes to content as well. So I feel like sometimes it is like kind of more of like a laid off hands approach. And it's like, yeah, we'll leave the kind of creative stuff to you. Whereas like, I think in other parts of the world or UK, for example, sometimes there's quite a bit of hand holding, a bit more clearer, you know? Whereas like here, it's been a bit more kind of, a bit more laid back when saying, hey, let's create content. Yeah. So
I'm fascinated by some of the guests you've been able to interview. So what was it like interviewing Ed Sheeran?
Always, the celebrity stuff is always kind of surreal. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, it's funny, like for a very long, I think the first few years of Dose Society, we kind of ignored talent. Like the aim was never to kind of focus on celebrities or big household names at the start. So when it does kind of come full circle and we're able to interview the likes of the Trevor Noahs, Kevin Durant's, Ed Sheeran's of the world, Richard Branson, we've done a lot of just kind of like A-list celebrities or like A-list entrepreneurs, even politicians, you know? So it's such a surreal kind of feeling to kind of see that people of that kind of caliber or stature within their kind of field or in their craft, kind of see the power of them kind of showcasing their story, or the importance of them showcasing their stories on a platform like Those Society, you know? So yeah, no, so it's obviously it's an amazing feeling to kind of really give them the platform, I guess. And do they need it? Probably probably not. I think he's got like 44 million plus followers and stuff, but I guess they see the value in terms of tapping into a community that is obviously a little bit different to maybe his or others, other kind of celebrities or kind of talent that we worked with. So so yeah, no, it's always a great feeling when we get that kind of email saying, hey, XYZ.
Do they come inbound to you?
Yeah, all of it inbound. Yeah,
Really?
We've never reached out to any of these people I've just kind of mentioned. So
Nice.
yeah,
Who is your favorite?
Favorite interviewee at that level? There's a lot, man. So we did Emma Greed. She was amazing, man. She was really just had amazing, like just great aura and vibe around her, about her. So she was very, very chilled and nice as well. And obviously done amazing stuff coming from the UK to what she's done in the US. So she was great. Trevor Noah, again, great. Of course, Ed was great. So a lot of them in their own way have something that you leave with, you know. So yeah.
Any of them a dick?
Oh yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah.
There's a few, of course.
They've reached out to you and then they've had a prick on camera as well.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. It happens. It comes. You know what? Even like it comes with it. That kind of territory. Because you never know. When it comes to talent, like again. But sometimes I don't even try to take offense to it too much, man. Maybe they had a bad day. God knows what's going on. Do you know what I mean? So I don't even try to really. Do you know what I mean?
Deep it too much.
Yeah.
I can see why some of these celebrities would be keen to do it, or why it lands really well, because it's completely the opposite to what they're usually doing. They're media trained, like doing interviews on your BBCs, your ITVs. It's like this is like look behind the curtain, right?
Exactly.
And your message is consistent, whether it's someone that nobody knows or it's Ed Sheeran. And I think that's why people probably don't look at that content to be like, oh, well, the whole point of this is hope and all of this, because it's still the same message, whether
100%.
It's your next door neighbor or it's Ed Sheeran.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, even for them as well, like it gives them a chance to really, for a second, I guess, step out of their world, whether it's music, acting, or whatever it is, and just kind of really kind of focus on just like their real life lived experience. Like they're able to kind of, I guess, be vulnerable and showcase to the world. So I've always had great feedback from those type of people when we kind of create the content. So yeah, it's different for them.
Now, go back to the. Oh, sorry, I was going to say quickly back to the start. You started this society. You got the investment from Snapchat, but then where did things? Was there a bit of a hockey stick? Was it just consistent slow growth? Where did things really start to get moving? What happened? So
after that investment, obviously, a few months after, obviously went back to London. Then obviously COVID happened. At the time, it was in LA when COVID happened. So obviously went back on the flight. It was like March or April, 2020. Then obviously it was a weird time because obviously our ethos was our business model was kit in the streets and creating content. So for first few weeks was just like we were kind of like in limbo. What do we do? And even at that time we weren't making revenue. Like keep in mind we got investment in end of summer 2019, 150,000, and now obviously we're in March. So you can see things are it's coming down a bit. We had like a few months left really to kind of like start making money. Obviously then COVID came, so we really had to kind of pivot a little bit, and from there we started to kind of create content from Zoom. Really? So yeah, literally, so we'd find just kind of interesting people like who've got like an amazing story, and yeah, just interview them on Zoom.
How did you find them?
Instagram, not TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Yeah, so we just found just like cool people, like a guy who just kind of create like an Iron Man suit in America, for example, and just interview him on Zoom and how he's kind of did it. Or like we did something on these nuns in the US who smoke weed. Literally like create like just kind of crazy, just wacky stories. Then after then, done it on Zoom. Obviously, most of those people already kind of documenting their journey already. So obviously, just B-roll from their Instagram or videos they already have, and just kind of turn that into stories basically. So then from there, we kind of saw more of a uplift towards the back end. Again, it took time to really, from I guess April, May to really just start seeing the returns on it, especially content, and understand how ad revenue works on YouTube or Snapchat, for example, Facebook, etc. So once we started to understand that a bit more, once posting those videos, we just kind of saw like a little bit more of a rise towards the back end of COVID, or that end of that summer. So
From the virtual content, which is crazy.
literally. So that the virtual content really kind of became a staple for us then, you know. Then after once kind of COVID kind of came towards an end, another kind of major shift for us is introducing the microphone. Because again, before that, when we're filming in the streets, there was no microphones. You couldn't really know it's us unless we put it on our YouTube channel, if that makes sense. Little logo,
really good way of branding it.
Exactly. So we weren't doing that before. So see, I remember the time me and my co-founder were kind of brainstorming in terms of just like, because again, this is when TikTok was really just pushing stuff, you know. And this was again back in 2019, early and towards the end of 2020 as well. So once we start seeing TikTok a bit more, we understood that we needed something that's going to make us different on that platform. Whereas again, as you know, when you're on YouTube, you go on YouTube for a while, so you know what you're watching. That makes sense. Whereas TikTok, again, you'll see the early days, you see a lot of them user 1,000, like again,
anyone.
So but once we kind of figured out that kind of format of using a microphone, that's when again things changed for us now, back onto short form content. And was going through loads of different changes. Like, do we add a chair to this? Do we add a? And we tried all that stuff. Like, I remember we bought a blow up sofa, went to the middle of Carnaby Street, placed it there, created content. 10 minutes later, getting kicked off by security because obviously we can't have a sofa in the middle of Carnaby Street. Do you know what I mean? So we tried many different stuff, chairs, like a chair, and just sit down and tell a story type of stuff. So we was going through different kind of changes through those society. But after when we kind of like came up with the concept with the microphone and the logo, change everything.
Was that so? The microphone with the logo was with the biggest change.
Yeah, massively. Since then, that's when things really flew across socials. But obviously, again, go back to the start of your question. It's right time, right place. You know, and then TikTok was not what TikTok was now. So again, we were very fortunate to be on the platform early. Of course, we're great content, great stories.
You need both of those things, right?
100 exact same. Sometimes life is just timing, man. Like, you know, life is all about timing. Right time, right place.
It's been early with a few things now, because even Dose of Emirates, but no one was creating that content
at all. Exactly.
So you've come out here and now it's like blown up inside.
Being early, as you know, just like has a few benefits. You know what I mean? Like saying right time, right place.
Do you have a lot of people copying your content?
You see it now, street interviews, man. Like, it's everywhere now, which is obviously like, it's funny because like when we first started, I guess, especially not first started, but like more like when putting our content in TikTok, you would see it like a year later, like quite a few people doing similar stuff. It was like, cool, we know where they kind of got the concept from.
You're saying Simon Squibb copied you?
His content's amazing. But and then not even that, like it's just similar format, similar questions and whatnot. So yeah, but like again, it's just like it's not a thing for us, man. That's always like powerful to see these people to doing great stuff, you know. So yeah, but yeah, you see it everywhere now, street interviews, which is great.
So I guess you see it as like a pat on the back rather than people copying you.
Yeah, no, to be honest with you, I don't honestly like. We don't even sit back and think that like we were like one of the first ones to start this, blah blah blah. Like I don't think too much about it, but do you know what I mean? So yeah, because again, street interviews are always there. It was always there before our time. Maybe we helped kind of elevate it because obviously we built something that's quite big. And hopefully, if it has inspired someone to start something similar to what we're doing, then yeah, it's amazing to see. Do you know what I mean? So similar to what I was saying to you before, it's like there's nothing new out there. Just have your spin on it.
Yeah.
You know, and
just do something that works, but 100%. Make it a little bit different.
Just run with it. You know,
that's what you've done with Dose of Emirates, really. Can you remember your first brand deal?
I think the first kind of one probably was quite pivotal was Gymshark.
Really?
Yeah,
it's pretty big.
And that's just because it was a massive brand. I think we had a few others before that, but they were a bit more small. Like we had a few charities that kind of paid us to create content, etc. I think Gymshark was like the first big one. So yeah, and that was quite early as well. That was like in maybe 2020, end of 2021.
Oh, right.
Maybe 2022.
That was the first time you made big money from it. From that point,
it wasn't even big money. It was just more of like that staple. Like I think once I think people kind of saw, okay, cool, we're doing more stuff like with bigger brands. I don't know, it's kind of more like a snowball effect, like other kind of big brands. And after like a few weeks or a few months later, we done Valentino. Randomly DM'd us saying, hey, we'll have to work with you guys. So it's like I think once people start seeing our content, especially associated with brands, and able to see the impact of it, it just kind of like it's obviously good look, if that makes sense.
We've seen that. Like they stopped doing their due diligence. It's like, oh, if this big brand worked with you must be calm. Like,
so sometimes again, it's just like taking that the money's probably not life changing, but it's just like that kind of the experience and just kind of getting ourselves settled with a big brand that was just more of a more important moment at the time for us than money, if that makes sense. You know.
What was the business side of it for you at that point? How did you price it? Or did they come to you with an offer?
Yeah, no, they came to us to offer.
That's all right then, because when it's your first brand deal, I imagine they're like, fuck knows how much I need to price this at.
You never know. And again, there's a lot of people, you just kind of like winging it, having fun with it. You know what I mean? So yeah. So,
if we had a penny for every time someone said, how much is this sponsorship worth? Like, I don't know, mate.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah.
What's the biggest brand deal Dose of Emirates has done? Or Dose of Society?
Just under 6 figures.
On Society?
Yeah, Dose Society, but that's more kind of like a project based. But like when it's kind of like a more kind of simple short form video, probably up to like 40-50K.
Yeah.
Wow.
For a few videos. So
that's crazy for
no, definitely.
I don't want to just like put it down like, a couple of shorts, because obviously loads of work goes into it.
Of course.
But from the outside perspective, from somebody maybe wanting to be a creator, or like you back in 2017, somebody goes, cool, you can make 3 60-second videos and make 50 grand.
Yeah.
Without your face in it.
Yeah, that's insane.
Exactly, not crazy. It's crazy. I guess the power of just kind of creating short form content, you know. So yeah, and obviously again, it's for us. Like I said, timing. We're at a certain place. Like again, the brand means something. Yeah. So those is at a specific stage now, you know. So when brands kind of come to it, they kind of know to expect roughly what they'll get.
What does the business model look like? What are the different income streams?
Obviously ad revenue. Still
from YouTube.
YouTube, Snapchat, Facebook, etc. People, I wouldn't say ignore it, but like people focus on that at the start when trying to start something. Like it could be super lucrative at the start, you know, especially when you have nothing, no brand deals, etc. So ad revenue.
How much is that deals, roughly a year for all of them combined?
In terms of what sense?
Your ad revenue.
How much we make out of it?
Yeah,
quite a lot. We've done quite a lot.
Is Snapchat the best?
Yeah, Snapchat. I've always said to people, Snapchat's the biggest kept secret.
I hear that recently.
Crazy, yeah. Snapchat's the biggest, like it's one of the biggest kept secrets I think in the industry, if that makes sense. It's not a secret, obviously, but it's like it's like a lot of people don't know.
Page creators well, doesn't it?
Yeah, very well. So yeah, of course YouTube as well. As people, I guess it's more YouTube's a bit more open platform, I guess. Because anyone can kind of come in and could be a YouTube creator, if that makes sense. You know, where Snap's a little bit more different. But yeah, ad revenue just across even Facebook as well, YouTube. Like, there's a lot of income can be generated from those quite quickly if you create good content that people sometimes forget. So yeah,
hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, you can. It's possible. Wow. So brand deals, obviously.
I was gonna say brand deals.
Yeah, and after then, the last one for us is commerce. So we kind of stepped to the commerce world like a year now.
Card game, right?
Yeah, card game. So we launched a card game, really kind of called Dare to Share. So packaged our street interviews into a card game. So far so good, but I think commerce is kind of something we're really betting on big over the next year or so. So it's something that we're gonna definitely put more kind of time and energy into that side of the world. So yeah, I think once you have the kind of built-in audience, like you figure out how to combine that audience with some sort of commerce strategy, for example. Obviously, you know what I mean. You've got something to not just sell to people for us as well. It's not just about selling to people. It's like, how can we create products that adds value to someone's life, you know?
Yeah.
So that just merch, you know, jumper that says Dose and that, not impossible, you know? Whereas like a card game, like even the feedback we've got from just customers when we kind of, you know, done our kind of market research and call customers back, like the impact it's had on kind of people's relationships. It's like, amazing to hear. So it's like, how are we able to kind of create products like that? And again, that impacts someone's life. So that, you know what I mean? So it's like longevity for us.
And you'll always make more selling your own stuff.
100%, exactly. So that's something we're kind of betting big on now, commerce.
So you got new products in the pipeline?
Yeah, stuff that we're definitely working on, for sure. So I think 2026 definitely will be an exciting year for us as well. Obviously TikTok's going to be a massive part for it as well. TikTok Shop, TikTok Lives, etc. They're really pushing things forward when it comes to just being able to kind of sell stuff on socials now. So when you start seeing again companies like that kind of get into it, like, you know, it's going to be something. And I'm sure you've seen the stuff that's happening in China when it comes to live shopping.
Yeah.
So there's going to come a point in time where like every creator is going to have something
100%.
to sell. So yeah.
With your content, obviously is really personal. Is there ever a line you have to draw where you go, we actually can't share that?
100%. It happens quite a lot because again, in a sense where people sometimes forget how big our platform is, and sometimes, especially, and it happens quite a lot when someone's a little bit younger, 22, 23. Do they want that story out when they're 30? Does that make sense? So they might want to tell something, a story around heartbreak or something, or breakup, wherever it is. But when they get married and kids, do they want that out there for the world to know? Probably not, you know? So I think but people sometimes forget, obviously, how, that things lives on socials forever, arguably, you know? So even like I had someone recently reach out to me. We did a video of them 3 years ago and just DM me randomly saying, hey, like, it'd be amazing, like, if you can take this video down because of blah, blah, blah. No, I agreed with it, but here's why I'd want it to be removed. And it's like, yeah, but understand. People just kind of like, just don't want as much personal stuff or information out there of them. So it happens. So yeah.
How about the comment section? Like, do you get much negativity? Well, it's not even you. It's your...
So, again, it's the socials, isn't it? And again, as you know how Reels work, Reels kind of showcase your content to people who aren't following you sometimes as well. So again, sometimes we have to be strategic in terms of when we are putting stuff out. Like, is this going to create arguments within the content? Because even before, when we launched Dose Society a year in, we had about, again, 3,000 followers after we had a sit down with Gary Vaynerchuk. So he invited us into his London offices. And just kind of really sat down with us and just kind of like just give us advice. He actually put a clip on his YouTube thing at the time when he was doing his vlogs, which was cool. And one of the kind of feedback he gave us was like our content is too argumentative, if that makes sense. So every kind of topic we'll do, for example, there'll be two sides to the story. So all of a sudden now you got people who think they're right, people who think the other person's wrong, and just kind of it will create viral clips and stuff. But like people are arguing, you know. So there was no real
right energy.
Yeah, it wasn't the right energy. So he kind of gave us that kind of hint and was like, oh, like at the start we thought, you hear it, a good PR, bad PR is PR. You know what I mean? So, but like when you're trying to build something longevity wise and stand for something, people would always remember that, you know? That was kind of pivotal moment as well when speaking to someone like Gary Vaynerchuk and just kind of giving us that insight in terms of like
changing your questions,
going stuff that's more meaningful, more impactful, you know, go deeper, not something that's too deep, which will cause triggers. Yeah, because again, like everyone, you can debate on many stuff, you know. You talk about religion. There's people going to think that person's right, people think that's wrong, vice versa, and many other stuff. So it's like trying to be strategic when it comes to kind of our questioning. So like where we kind of moved into, I guess, story-based stuff rather than opinions, because you can always debate someone's opinion, right? Whereas when it comes to someone's story or journey, it's hard to kind of debate that because it's your personal story. I can't debate the journey you've been on, what you've gone through, if that makes sense, you know?
So on the point of your questions, we've picked out a handful of our favorite ones from Dose of Society, and we're going to ask them to you.
Might turn it back to you as well after.
Okay, so your first ever episode on YouTube was called London Sends a Message to the World.
That was the question, see?
And you ask everyone, what's your message to the world?
Yeah. My message to the world, I think it's always important, especially for like the younger generation as well, to obviously pursue your like career and whether it's maths or whatever it is, you know, but always want the kind of young generation to just chase their dreams, you know, to really hone in terms of what they want to do. Because I think it's super important to really just chase that thing that's kind of, you know, burning in you to kind of really pursue, whether it's again becoming a content creator or trying out a business, you know. So I think it's super important to really just chasing something that you really believe in. Because especially I think when you're that young, and again, this is why I think where I was able to kind of succeed in my early 20s, because like I went all in. I took the maximum amount of risks I was able to take and really just put it all on the table. I realized early on, I said it on my Instagram, like I had nothing to lose. Like, how can you lose when you have nothing, you know, and everything to gain? So I had the upside. So I realized that early on, all I had was like a £20 phone bill to pay for the month. Obviously, thankfully, I was living with my parents. in London. So at the time I had nothing to lose on chasing something. So I realized that early on. And I think sometimes now, I see it now, I think maybe some people forget that sometimes. And as you know, London's going through, a lot of people are going through tricky things at this time, but just remember the upside. It's like, especially if you're living at home, your late teens, early 20s, like all or nothing.
Go for it.
So yeah.
All right. Number 2. What's one thing you wish you told your younger self?
Go back to the same thing. I would have risked it more. I went even crazier. 100%.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Obviously, my life's changed. Misses. I've got 2 little ones. Like, so I have to be strategic, like super, like. And again, she's so helpful and understandable. Like, I still just try to take as much as possible. Of course, now there's a consequence. You know what I mean? There's responsibility now, whereas before I had nothing responsibility. So like, looking back then, I would have done way more. Just
take more risks.
Crazier.
Yeah, what would you have done?
Started in 2011.
Yeah, that's right. Just start earlier. I think I'd have said yes to way more stuff. Traveled way more. Try to meet as many people who can add value to my life. Obviously, who've done something. So I would have just yes to just way more stuff. If that makes sense, Because when you say no, I think now it's different, right? I think when you're at a certain stage, I think saying no has more benefits than sometimes saying yes all the time. Just because like you can't say yes to everything. Not everything's for you, especially or your company or business. So there's quite a lot of value in saying no now. Whereas back then, when you're kind of really figuring it out, there's so much value in saying yes to everything.
Say yes, figure it out.
Literally. You need to know what you like. Taste it. It's not good. And you learn, and as you know, you learn from these L's. You learn from these mistakes.
That's
Whereas
true.
like now, it's like when you're at a certain point, you've been through stuff, so like whether so it might not be for you or for you. But again, if I was to go back to my younger self, I'd have just went more crazy and just took way more risks and just literally just put the stakes up a little bit more and more and more. So yeah, that's what I told my younger first. And obviously invest in Bitcoin as well. Yeah. You know what's funny? I swear to you, know what's funny about Bitcoin as well? Just a side note. I remember one time in school, I was in year 10.
So 2010.
Year 10 or year 11. And this guy was telling me about Bitcoin. I swear to God. Just randomly, like in a bus stop. But obviously, the first thing I paid no attention to it, but it was funny. It's like funny stories.
I bet he's balling.
I don't think he said at the time what if he invested or blah blah blah. But I remember he just mentioned something. Bitcoin. That's the first time I heard of it.
2010.
But yeah, left it.
That's mad.
So, yeah.
That would have been a risk. You don't know who you are, but I'm putting my money in it.
Even just one at that time.
Crazy.
Okay. Do you think social media helps or harms society?
Both. Social media helps and harms, but I think it's always down to how you use it as a consumer. So how do you try to consume socials? Again, because you have like even though Reels and TikTok plays a massive part now in terms of what you see, but you have control in terms of what you want to see, what you want to consume in, people you want to follow. So you can go super dark, and as you know, it's ruined people's lives.
You should see his algorithm, man.
Super inspiring, I'm sure. But it's like, it can ruin people's lives, and there's the other side to it where it can change your life and you can change others as well, maybe, through the content you make. So it's both.
It's up to the consumer.
Yeah, same thing. It's like everything,
it can
right?
be negative if you want it to be. It can be positive if you want. The algorithms are that strong now. Like, if you watch things that are good for you, you're going to see more of it.
100%.
If you watch things that are shit, then you're going to see more. And
there's still platforms like YouTube. You can control what you watch, right? Different to obviously Reels and TikTok to an extent, but yeah, definitely both. It can harm, and it all depends on who you are as a person.
What does success mean to you?
Success. Once upon a time, it was obviously the nice stuff in life, but I think every time I reached a certain point in business or career, whether a certain achievement fades away 2 weeks later, or when you do it again and again and again, and literally you feel empty, nothing, just because of you're used to it, which is obviously at the start, like you would never think that, the first 10,000 you made or whatever it is, life changing forever. But when it happens again, it's like you feel empty. So I kind of started to really forget about, again, putting value and success in that, and just looking at I know it's the cliche things, but I always hated hearing this kind of stuff, but like just stuff like family, happiness, health, you know, all these things are just more super important than what I perceived success was. Once I started to consume or indulge in that kind of life or lifestyle, emptiness, you know? So you feel it when you first get it or you first taste it, you do it again and again and again. It's just like, it's the norm, you know? But again, stuff like just life experiences or, you know, stuff with family. Obviously I have two little ones, you know? So like, that's what success is, you know? So it changes. So yeah. You don't have kids yet? Not yet?
Not yet.
Not that I know of.
Yeah,
exactly. Somewhere in the world. But yeah, and also you feel like when kids come into your life, like it just changes everything. It's like, yeah. So,
Yeah, I bet. Okay, before we get to the last one, I want to know what's your favorite question that you've asked?
I think one of the favorite questions I guess I ask is what's something you're proud of that most people wouldn't know about? So you get to just hear just how people's faces light up and talk about just the proud moments of their life, you know? So I think those are always the questions I like to hear, because you never expect someone talk about just the random achievements, you know, something you're proud of, just something that you've been able to achieve in life or whatever. And people just go to different kind of just stuff, like talking about whether it's their kids or even like proud of their daughter, like just like so many different kind of beautiful stories you're able to hear from that.
What's your answer?
Yeah,
I think definitely for sure, obviously what I've been able to kind of achieve, like again I'm from an area where like what I've done that not like no one else has, you know. So there wasn't like a blueprint for just going the trajectory that we've went on, you know, whether it's going to America, raising Middle East, like none of that, you know. So just like being able to do stuff that no one has ever had, and hopefully just kind of be an inspiration for others, you know. So sometimes I forget, you know, when you live your own kind of, when you're in your own boat or in your own world, sometimes you forget, right? Because it's everyday life now for us, you know. But it's like, as you know, just like where we've just come from is like not many people get to do experience the stuff we've been able to experience, you know, and meet the people who we've met. So
Completely get
yeah,
that.
so
100%.
yeah.
I think the biggest one for us on that one would likely be the people we've surrounded ourselves with. When I think of what people would expect us to say be something to do with the business or moving to Dubai or whatever, but I think something that I sometimes sit back and think I underappreciate is actually the community of people that are closest to me. Like so many people that become friends with us say how jealous they are of, like, oh, I'm so jealous of your friendship group and all of this. So like we've made a conscious effort of the people we surround ourselves with, and I think that's a massive. That's the first thing that came to my mind when you said what are you proud of that people wouldn't really know of. It would be the people
I feel it's always important just to step out your circle, man. Do you know what I mean? Step out the world you're in, the city you're from, the village, wherever 100%. It is, town. It's just so important.
And to do it and have other people around you that have that same mindset is what makes a difference.
Powerful. And that's the cheat code in life, just people you're with. So we say it's like, as you know, we're still young, you know, still growing up in our careers, but like life's going to look so interesting 20 years down the line. Because you're going to get into stuff and situations and businesses based on the people you've met now. Do you know what I mean? So like things are good now, but what are those connections and things look like in 20 years down the line, you know? So this is the kind of more exciting part. It's like now it's good. It's like when you've known someone for 10 years, it's completely different now. So yeah, I think, yeah, your contacts, your connections, just how you treat people always remember it. So it's super, super important, just how you treat others, because people always remember it, you know? So yeah.
Ahmed, you've been a gent. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, mate.
Cheers.